Hello everyone and thank you for tuning into Wowhead Weekly number 61. It's crazy. I think I started this when we were at like 20 something perk.
I know.
I don't know where time went and where time goes, but we have quite a few things to talk about today, so I will ramble less and introduce Perk more. This is Perculia. She is the site manager of Wowhead, and that's Murloc Pepe. So cute. He's so cute.
He is so cute, and we have been so busy with Alpha News, and Pepe is keeping me low stress because he's so cute.
Thank you, Pepe, for the sanity. But we have been doing all sorts of Legion stuff recently, including I made a video on my channel.
This was so cool.
This is kind of funny because I was like really in a funk this week, and I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know if it's the holidays or the weather or what it was, but I was in such a funk, and I just like couldn't bring myself to like do this big energetic video. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna put up this video of Dal, and it took me a few hours to get it all put together, but like really this was me being lazy, and then everybody loved it so much. It was this side-by-side comparison of Wrath Dalaran versus Legion Dalaran, and I think my favorite part is that when you go in the shops, there's all the new stuff, and the lights are interactive, and it's just the lighting effects in general are really, really good, like the way lights shine through windows and stuff like that. What's your favorite part, Perk?
So I like the archaeology building because the profession section is always really unique where each profession has its own building, but then archaeology you have like the sarcophagus and you've got the map and you've got like the compass and all that. So that building's really cool. And then I also like the pet shop because it has the new pets with Brianni. So you have her there, and then she's selling a nursery spider. Then you have the garrison pet NPCs there, and they're selling new pets. And then you also have little doodads around that were pets in the recent expansions, like the Elec plushie is lying around.
Yeah, we're seeing the archaeology building right now, and everything is so much more full, and all of the colors are so much more rich. And like there's entire like floors that aren't in the original buildings, which I think is really a cool detail. And one of the comments that I really enjoyed on that video was like one of the comments said, can you imagine that this is someone's job? Like they go to work and they get to design all these doodads and stuff like that. Really cool.
I like seeing the armor updates as well, even in things like, oh, this is just a general goods vendor. It's nice to see that there was, high-res chainmail or like tons of guns as opposed to one gun or one, or stuff like that. Well, one detail that everyone really liked was that, so Aerith Primrose is the flower vendor in Dalaran, and she was there in Wrath. But, obviously she's a Final Fantasy reference, and now there is a Cloud bodyguard NPC that stands next to her, and she sells a memorial bouquet that you can place down on the ground that is a bouquet of red roses.
That's very cool. And then Brianni sells some new pets. She also has all of the garrison pets as well, correct?
Yeah, and she also sells a few pet leashes. So, like, she has the thing, like, like the red ribbon one, and that's a toy now. So that's a good way to get some cheap toys in the expansion.
Yeah, very cool. And then there's also Magic Tricks by Algalon.
Yeah, that guy is really funny. Let me pull up the article so I can read a few of them.
Sure.
I think it's someone related to the Mage class hall. But basically, he's doing tricks where the Citizens of Dalaran event takes place, and some of them are funny. One that I really liked was he goes, okay, for this trick, I'll need a volunteer. Pick a card, any card. And then the citizen goes, wow, a golden Dr. Boom. And he goes, oh no, wait, not that card, give it back.
I love it when Blizzard does things when they kind of like incorporate their other games into WoW. I know like for some people it kind of breaks the immersion, but for me I really like the nods at the other games. Like I was really excited in Mists of Pandaria when you're in the Tillers area and there's a panda walking around and his name is Fruit Dealer.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like there's a lot of like really cute little stuff like that, and I think it's adorable that they would incorporate, you've got the Algalon, which already is such a I don't know, like a memorable.
It's very like serious, and you've got this guy just
so serious, and then to make it like a card trick, but then to incorporate Hearthstone cards is really cute. But Dalaran isn't the only thing that has been improved in Legion. There's a lot of UI changes, including a new Transmog / wardrobe UI, which is very, very cool. And I just did a short video on this today, just kind of showing it, because I'm not really sure how everything totally works yet, because character copy isn't available.
Yeah, some parts seem seem incomplete. Like, there's some items that are in the UI that are not actual items in game.
Yeah.
But, you know, we can see, like, the basics and just sort of how it will look, and it looks pretty cool.
Well, and I'm also very curious as to what is going to be transmoggable and not. Because, like, this is the wardrobe, which is literally including everything, including RP items and items that currently aren't transmoggable. So I'm very curious as to how that's going to work and how, if you're going to need to go to a transmogrifier to change, or if it's something that will be part of the UI. I'm very, very interested. The moment we're allowed to copy characters, my paladin is happening because I'm a little bit of a plate hoarder on my paladin. Because they can solo everything, and then, like, they also have awesome transmogs, so it's totally worth it. But the UI is very, very cool for the wardrobe option, and I think the coolest part of all this, and I know this is pretty much a lot of the UI changes, if not all of them, is that we're going to get that transmog UI in 7.0, which is before Legion.
Yeah, usually all the UI improvements that they mention go live in the pre-patch. So, like, you know, when you get all those class changes, and then you get the UI improvements even if you can't play the game yet. So that goes in when, like, the pre-launch event takes place.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then also I'm sorry, go ahead, Ferg.
Oh, I was going to jump into some other blue tweets talking about transmog, but you can talk about the general UI if you want to.
I was literally just going to say, rejoice, there is a tabard section and a shirt section. And there's also a whole spot for weapon illusions as well. That's it. Yeah. That's all I had to say.
The illusions are cool because they include some that aren't currently in the game, but maybe they'll be added back in. So that's neat. Like, there's, like, the butterfly illusion, which I like.
Need. Especially since, I don't know, I think you're staying on your rogue, or you're going to maybe go to a demon hunter, right?
Yeah. And, like, if I switch to the demon hunter to allow, like, these, like, big weapons, and she needs to have illusions behind the weapons on her back.
Well, I would say I'm 97% sure I'm going to play Resto Druid next expansion, so I need the butterfly weapon enchant. It's necessary.
One of the main points I wanted to mention before jumping into blue tweets was that any reward you've done from a quest, any quest you've completed, all the rewards are automatically added, so not just the one you've chosen. And this also holds true for Legion questing. So if you quest in a new zone in Legion and there's 2 rewards and you pick one, both appearances get added.
I'm so excited.
Is pretty,
I'm so excited about it. And that's all account wide too, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you obviously, if you are a cloth wearer, you can't put the plate item on. But, like, that appearance is eligible for all, you know, plate wearers on your account. So yeah, it looks a lot nicer. There's also that progress bar on the top showing the collection total, which...
That's a dangerous bar. Is what
I know, it is a very dangerous bar. And I also wanted to read a few blue tweets that they just made on Transmog. One was, if I unlocked the CM armor during MOP on one Warlock, will I be able to X-Mog it to him with the new system? And the answer was, yep, any characters of the same class will be able to wear the challenge mode sets if you've unlocked them. There's a tweet confirming that the systems and UI improvements are tied to the pre-launch patch. Someone asked if all items from Draenor treasures are auto-added, and the reply to that was yes, you will get credit for any one-time treasures in the same manner as a quest. And rumor from Alpha is Clothies can unlock Cloth Transmog, but Plate cannot intended. And Warcraft Dev said intended, Plate wearers unlock Plate, Mail wearers unlock Mail. Weapons must be equipable by that character. So the idea is not like, oh, I'll just do everything on my plate character and unlock everything. You're meant to do, you know, you get the relevant armor from, you know, like that set of characters. So, yeah, that is pretty exciting. I have some cool transmog ideas planned for the site. Nothing I can get into yet, but they are coming.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with my life. Like, I don't want to be that guy who just transmogs and doesn't do anything else with their life. But what what other options do I even have at this point? Because they have the whole, like, there's the whole idea of the progress bar, so that feels very like I want to be a completionist and I want to get everything. And then and then on top of that, though, it's like the idea that, like, there are so many items right now that I cannot get because I already completed that quest and it was something that was an appearance that you could only get from that quest. Right, so you have this, like,
burst of creativity with all these new free items.
Yes, I'm so excited about it. I'm not even 100% sure how I'm going to handle it. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, plus things like shirts and tabards, which you couldn't do before. And, like, I was never a big tabard collector because some of them just stayed in your bags, and I can't deal with that.
They just take up bag space.
Yeah. And there are some times where, like, sure, if you delete them, you can buy them back from a vendor, but there are some that aren't, and you have to make a ticket to get them back. But now, I can totally get those tabards and
I think it makes me more interested too. Like a while back, I made an entire transmog around, like I had done a couple transmogs around my guild tabard. And
oh, that's a neat idea.
Yeah, I did a couple different ones. One was all like red and black because at the time my guild tabard was like very horde, very like rrr. And then I had another guild that was Barney colors. It's like purple and lime green, and I made the most hideous. It was the, you know, the purple and green, like it's like a cloth set, and the pants have like slits all the way up the side.
Oh yeah,
I made the most ridiculous looking transmog to match this guild tabard, and it's kind of been something I've never really thought about because there's no tabard in the transmog menu, so you don't think you'd have to find the tabard and then like build everything around it, and it would be, but with it being included right in the it adds a whole new layer of transmog to the game because you can see everything all together like that. So I'm very, very excited. Very, very excited.
And Pepe loves transmog.
Woo, Pepe!
Little Verloc cat.
Spam some Pepe emotes. Chat. Otherwise, though, there's other UI stuff going on other than just transmog. I couldn't make a video of this because there's no character copy yet, and I didn't have any professions on any of my pre-made characters. But there's a new profession UI.
Yeah, we saw this previewed at BlizzCon a little, but we can actually play around with it in-game now, even if our professions are all level 1. But basically, it lets you easily see recipes that you have and also what you haven't collected, and the window is a lot bigger than before. It's not that tiny little bar you have to scroll through, so you don't really need to scroll as much, and they have everything categorized by recipe types. Like for cooking, they're like snacks and like large meals and fun names like that, and there are lots of filter options. You can filter by like type or by slot. You can also see what unlearned recipes you have materials for, so if you're leveling up and you're not sure like what would be a good recipe to get or to learn, or like if you have all this junk and you want to do something with it, you can switch to the uncollected view and say, hey, like I should go get this recipe because I can make a billion things with it.
You know, you were just talking about cooking, and this is completely unrelated. I'm sorry that I like ADHD and my mind doesn't stay on one track, but I really wish they would bring back something noodle cart-esque. Like, maybe not necessarily a noodle cart, but really it was so nice not having to drop a feast every single time in Mists of Pandaria. You dropped a noodle cart, people got enough for 5 pulls, and then you could kind of move on with your life. I really, really liked the
Wouldn't it be funny if there was some, like, evil-looking Legion portal thing, but it served food?
Like a Legion hot dog cart, fell dog cart.
Exactly.
I would really, really like that. Or, like, a Legion ice cream cart or popcorn machine. I don't know. I would just love to see something that was, because that was it was like a fun thing, and it definitely went with Mists of Pandaria, but it was really practical, and it had a
And the little quest was cute as well, how you had to, like, do the little, scenario thing to feed everyone.
I mean, it wasn't, a lot of people didn't have the noodle cart unlocked, and I unlocked mine pretty late, because that actually took a little more effort than just learning something, which kind of made you have this little extra value to any group you were in, because you had a noodle cart, okay? And there were better noodles than other noodles, and I would really like them to bring something like that back for Legion. That was something I really, really enjoyed about Mists of Pandaria.
Yeah, I like little scenarios like that just were for fun and testing, still and gave you a boost, like the noodle scenario and also the treasure trove scenario. Yeah. Like that sort of stuff was like, oh, here's a nice perk, but it wasn't make or break, but it just was some fun flavor.
Yeah, the treasure race was really fun. It was a really nice little incentive to doing dailies on the Isle, because on top of doing your dailies and working towards that mount and unlocking the vendor and all of that, you also would every once in a while would be able to go do that scenario where you just got to run and try to get all the treasure. Yeah. And, you know, you'd always kind of try to beat your last
free gold
score.
Was good, yeah.
Like everybody had like their own little paths worked out. I'm sure there was a best path, but I never followed the best path. I always just tried to do it myself, which I get lost a lot, so it wasn't good. But
yeah, we should, so view distance.
Yeah.
It has been increased. So basically, if you look at your systems page now, the options look a bit different. Like, there's more slider options when you go from low to ultra, and then instead of having, like, a menu of a few options for things like view distance and environment... Yeah, it's like 1 through 10, and before I think it was like 1 through 7 or something like that.
I think isn't it still like view distance is like low, medium, max or something like that? Is it even numbers? I haven't changed it
I don't think it's number. I'm not sure if it is at this point, but there's just like more options for stuff you can do on that systems thing, and I have a picture of that in the Wowhead post.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out that Wowhead post because it goes through all the menus and stuff. But there's a lot of new options. Like there's an option so that your screen flashes when you're at low health. There's an option to add a health and resource info section below your character. Like now your character thing will come up in the center of your screen, and if you have like, well, I guess Holy Power is a bad example because there is no Holy Power next expansion.
Combo points.
But if you have like combo points or some sort of secondary resource, that will also show up in a nice little like thing right in the center of your screen where you can see it. Yeah. When I did my Demon Hunter starting area video, a lot of people were like, oh, I really like the nameplates. Is that an add-on? Nope, that's just the new default interface. Looks a lot better.
Yeah. Also, there's an option for self-highlighting, so you can highlight yourselves in raids and battlegrounds, and you can specify to only have that in combat or not. So that is a nice quality of life
so you don't lose your character.
Change as well. Yeah, exactly. This one I'm not exactly sure about, but the learn button is gone from the talent pane, and I think it's a little confusing because I wasn't sure that my talents were being learned at first. But it's gone, like you just click on the talent thing and you automatically learn it.
Yeah, so there's no tomes anymore, basically. Like you used to have to select it and then click learn and it would take your tome or whatever. Now it's just you can switch whenever you want without having to click twice.
Yeah, there's also a star above one specialization, as well as like that window when you're switching between your talents and spec. The spec now has your recommended primary stat like agility, and there's also a star above one, which is meant to be your primary specialization. And I'm not totally sure of the details on how this works yet, but we did learn at BlizzCon that, you know, tri-spec is coming. So like maybe this is, I don't know, the spec that things will default to. Maybe this is just an easier way for you to keep track of all the specs. I know a lot of people were unsure about this, but, you know, it's early in the alpha. We don't exactly know how this all works.
Yeah.
And yeah, as we mentioned before with Transmog, all of these things should be going live in the pre-patch and not Legion launch, so you can get a head start on Professions and Transmog and this whole, you know, talent self-highlighting system.
It's very exciting. I feel like a lot of people, there's like a lull between expansions, particularly in that, like, I don't know, about 5 months before the expansion, I feel like it's when people are starting to kind of like, hey, we've been here for a long time. Unless you're in my guild who started everything super, super late and all of a sudden now we're like progressing through Mythic out of nowhere. But a lot of people really start to slow down around this time when you're a few months out from the expansions. The fact that like particularly that Transmog system is going to go live is going to give a lot of people incentive to get on and play before Legion actually goes live, because you can go back, you can do old content, you can work on new sets.
Yeah, like you can't, I mean, you want to start now because you can't collect 500 things in one day when everything finally does go live.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to flip it over to you, Perk, to talk a little bit about Highmountain and Stormheim, because you did the guides on those, and then I'll come back for models.
Cool. So there are 2 zones that you can quest in on the alpha, and the level cap is 104. And I quested through both areas and wrote up some cool things from each one. So just to highlight them quickly, in Highmountain, there is a really cool Diablo reference. There is a treasure demon model. We should show a picture of this next time. But the treasure demon looks like the treasure goblin in Diablo, and he's surrounded by glittery effects and has little gold pop-up messages pop up just like in Diablo. And he's pretty tough to kill, and if you don't kill him quickly, he jumps away into a portal. And at the bottom of your screen, as you're killing him, there's like a little gold counter that goes up, so that's pretty funny. They
literally just took everything fun out of Diablo and stuck it into WoW.
Yeah. There's also these sanctuary coins we get, and I don't know exactly what they do, but I get them as I'm killing him. And what I found really hilarious about him is that, so he kind of looks like a WoW treasure. He kind of looks like a Diablo one, but he has some modifications. He has these Illidan horns, and he also has candles, and he's stolen the kobold candles.
Oh my god.
So that's pretty funny. And that ties into another thing I wanted to mention, how there are kobolds now in Highmountain, and you're friendly with them. And it's pretty cool because at one point you go into their lair, which has this gigantic 3-story candle, and you become the quest giver for them. And if you give directions in fancy, you know, quest language, they say they don't understand you. But if you say things like, you kill Basilisk, biggest in cave, bring back, then they'll listen to you and go through it. And there's just a lot of neat touches. Like the zone has a lot of mountains and Tauren lore, but there are things like a doomsday camp of Tauren that think that Deathwing is the threat, not the Burning Legion. And they all wear fish hats on their head because they're like, oh, Deathwing is going to flood the world and our fish hats will let us float.
Oh my goodness. So there's a crazy cult of...
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
There's a crazy Tauren cult that's like hoarding grain and meat and fish.
That's hilarious.
The steamy romance novel Marcus is back. You go through this tent, and you see him walking out in his paladin armor, and he's like, I did not expect that to happen. And you go in the tent, and there are these two content Tauren sleeping together and then there's a box with a trinket inside called Sylvanas' barbed arrow.
Oh my god. Ew. What? That's like, Blizzard, please.
Now it gets worse. In the camp next to the Tauren, there is, what is the exact name of this guy? There is Slyhoof, the shameless shaman, who is called the used totem vendor. So, I don't know what's going on there.
Oh my god! Blizzard! Yeah. 50 Shades of Ew!
So that is a thing that happened. But on a cuter note, there's also a peaceful Murloc area because Data is back and they're trying to teach Murky the Murloc from Heroes of the Storm to be a peaceful Murloc and not destroy the coast like his ancestors. So you go through this quest line, and the Murlocs have the updated models, so they're all kind of cute but terrifying. And you try to teach Murloc and the baby Murlocs how to be responsible.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And I guess, spoiler warning for this next part. Okay, if you don't want to hear spoilers, stop this. But, so, as you go through Highmountain, you are tasked with sort of uniting all the tribes to work together in the central city. And then once you've done that, you assist this one NPC called Spirit Walker Ebonhorn to retrace some of the great battles of Highmountain, who is the namesake of the survival hunter spear and was this great chieftain that's responsible for a lot of the Highmountain lore. And one part's really cool because you go back in time to the War of the Ancients and you actually play as him, and then you get to meet Malfurion and you're doing stuff in Ashara, and you even meet his prized moose, which is later an archaeology mount. So that part is all pretty cool with lore, but then stuff gets really interesting when Bran Bronzebeard shows up because you're retracing his last greatest fight, which is Deathwing. And through this quest chain, you go into like Deathwing's lair and you see all of his relics lying around, and then it's revealed. So spoilers again. It's revealed that Spirit Walker Ebonhorn is actually Rathian in disguise.
That sneaky guy.
Rathian is there because he wants to steal the eggs that are uncorrupted from the Black Dragonflight before Deathwing became corrupted. So you help him steal the eggs, and then he's off with his Mr. Pandaria crew.
He's always causing trouble.
And he says I don't know about this, but these are some things he says.
I don't know about this.
He says, for the last time, I didn't kill your Spirit Walker Ebonhorn. I was him the entire time. Your people needed to know the Legion was coming. Look, that incident with Ironhorde was just a misunderstanding. Garrosh was supposed to convince them to fight the Burning Legion, not invade Azeroth. So, I don't know about this.
Freaking that guy. You know what I'm going to do next time, Perk, is I'll let you talk about Stormheim in a minute. But next week, I'll have a spoiler tag that I can put up on your screen so that people can just mute, and then it'll go away when you're done spoiling, and they can stay around. Good idea. I thought about that while you were talking. All right, back to you. Okay.
So, Stormheim does... Yeah, it has some spoilers as well, but we'll talk about the non-spoiler stuff first.
Okay.
So, Stormheim has these really cool Storm Dragon models, which you previewed last week. They were added a week after the alpha went live, and even the questing experience went live about a week after the alpha. You could explore, but you couldn't do stuff. And the Storm Dragons have a pretty cool new model. They sort of crackle lightning. Their wings are kind of glowy, hazy at the edges, and you see them all around Stormheim. You even do a few quests on them. So they look really awesome, and they add a lot to the atmosphere. And even the Whelplings have new models.
They remind me of How to Train Your Dragon. Have you ever seen that movie?
I haven't.
Okay, well, number one, what the heck are you doing with your life? Number two, there's these really derpy-looking dragons, and they look so much like the Storm Dragon. Someone at Blizzard is a fan of that movie, because I
think there's a few references.
The Fae dragon looks like Toothless, too.
Yeah.
Continue.
So... There's also this, and Stormheim is very big on like the Valkyr and the Vrykul lore, and most of the zone is you're doing these various trials and you understand sort of like what honor is to the Vrykul, and you learn about the Halls of Valor, which is where like the ascended warriors go. But then there's this one really cool area which is called Helheim, which is the underworld, and that's where the dishonored spirits go. And as part of your trials, you're sent down there. And it's very creepy. Like Stormheim is like it's very like there's like mountain peaks and lightning and these epic dragons flying around everywhere. But then you go to the underworld and there's like seaweed and it's very dark and unpleasant and mist everywhere. So that's a pretty fun area to quest in.
I'm really excited. That's probably the area that I'm most excited about because I think the Vikril lore is really interesting, or the Vikril. And I'm excited to see the good versus evil because we really kind of only saw the bad guys in the past.
Yeah, so, so again, this is the spoiler section again. Okay. So, what, the main conflict here is between, Greymane for the Alliance and Sylvanas for the Horde, and, what happens is that the Alliance is tracking Sylvanas down to see what she's doing in Stormheim, and also Nathanius Blightcaller is back, and there's a, like, dramatic exchange where again, Greymane and him are fighting each other on the Alliance airship at first. But basically you're trying to learn about the Vrykul to see what Sylvanas wants from them. And it turns out that she is trying to do something with Stormheim so she can get more Valkyr, because there's all these similarities between like the Shield Maidens and the Vrykul and the Valkyr. And you also learn that when you go into the underworld, as you're doing, other tasks, you learn that she is some pact made with the underworld down there as well. You see her like sort of running off as you zone into that area. So there's a cutscene, and that's not in the game yet, but basically you finally ascend to this, Shield Maiden area, and then like you're trying to, as the Alliance, you're trying to destroy what's going on before Sylvanas converts these to her cause, and then it sort of fades to black, and you wake up, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you were so injured."
You are so injured.
But apparently, it looks like she was not successful. Like no one was successful, but she did not successfully convert the Valkyr, and you did not kill her, and everyone is still alive and not actually made progress.
Well, wonderful. So, good try, everyone.
Yep. So yeah, I'm really curious to see that cutscene. But yeah, so non-spoilers, the zone is really gorgeous, the dragons are gorgeous, the Valkyr are cool, the Vrykul are cool. Actually seeing them, like, interacting with them, as opposed to just, oh, you're the evil people from, like, Wrath of the Lich King is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you learn about their lore, like the whole, culture of the warriors, and, like, the Shield Maidens, and how they redeem themselves, and what's considered a trial of strength. So yeah,
I'm excited.
That's pretty fun.
I am very, very excited. And you were just talking about Sylvanas, so this is kind of a good transition. But we got a peek at the Hunter Tier 19 this week. This is the non-mythic version, and look at how much it reminds you of Sylvanas. It looks so similar to the skin that you can buy for Sylvanas in Heroes of the Storm. I mean, minus the fact that this is a human male and he has a beard and whatnot, but it looks very Sylvanas-y. I think this is going to be some really popular armor. Especially. Yeah, it looks really great. I'm so jealous of how he makes these videos. They're so smooth. I'm like, I don't know. I have like some sort of problem. Like, I'm so jerky when I make my videos. Like, I don't have like a steady hand at all. But I really, really like that gear. It's probably one of my favorite gear sets that we've seen coming in Legion because it looks so much like Sylvanas. And then we were just talking about the Storm Dragons. This is what they look like. Now, this is the NPC version that you see flying around, but there actually is a mount version as well. And if you're in Twitch chat right now, tell me how much this doesn't look like that one dragon in How to Train Your Dragon. It looks so much like him with that big derpy jaw. Really pretty though, and they have very different models than the ones currently in game. Like that's not a reskinned. I don't even think it has the same skeleton as a dragon that's currently. Their
animations look pretty different.
But I really love all the lightning, and I love their big jaws that kind of are reminiscent of almost like Deathwing. And they have a very different stance. They look much more like agile and kind of ferocious, really.
Yeah, there are a few quests where you actually fly on them and you like do damage to things below, and it feels fun riding them around and doing stuff on them.
Look at the purple one.
I know. There's no way I found to get one of these yet, but maybe there's more quests coming. I don't know.
We'll see. I know that there is a separate model that is a mount, but it could just
like
be for that
version.
quest.
Exactly.
But
I hope it's...
Hopefully, though, I mean, Blizzard does love to reuse models, am I right? So hopefully there will be maybe a rep where you can get all the different colors. Blizzard, please, Blizzard, please. I miss that.
Yeah, the various NPCs you help in the zone, like, oh, you did this trial for me. Like, now you can grind rep and I will get you a dragon.
Yes! Oh, look how cool they are, though. Their face is so different than other dragons in games right now. I love the
lightning
one.
crackling around them.
Yeah. Oh, the green one's nice, too. The green... I'm going to let this go through all the colors because I think everybody wants to see them.
So nice.
But I just really love the lightning effects. I love how they look like they're actually the source of the lightning. A lot of dragons look almost like they're being struck by lightning, or it's like they're a conductor, but they look like they're the source of the lightning. Like, calling them a storm dragon is very fitting of their whole aesthetic. I love the details of the scales on their legs and how they sort of fade out in certain areas. They have very different spines on their back compared to other dragons.
Yeah, and the way their wings are held as well, just how they... Like, you know, the albino ones, like, they're very close to their bodies, but this one sort of goes up and then extends out.
Yeah. Oh, this one's super pretty too. This is almost like a twilight color, like kind of a lavender with some other blues and purples. They better make these mounts. I'm gonna be like so disappointed if they don't make mounts of these because they're so awesome. Although it does, how does it look when you're riding on them in game? Because I feel like there's not a lot of space for someone to sit. Do they like release their wings down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean their wings are kind of narrow, and then the like big bulky part is more overhead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling up some pictures from what I took because I have a picture of me flying on it, and yeah, I mean, like the actual big part of the wings, when the wingspan is expanded, it's like their wings are a bit farther out, so there is space for you to sit in the center.
Oh, all right. I really hope they make them into actual mounts. I think that would be very, very, very popular. I love the new model. I love that it's a dragon. I love that we're already seeing, and I understand that maybe not at first because if flying isn't released right off the bat, like why release a flying mount right off the bat? But hopefully that's something that maybe will be part of Legion Pathfinder.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So, Blizzard, are you listening? Are you listening?
That was final reward for the meta. Yeah.
Also, a reminder is that Wowhead has been putting up videos on their YouTube channel like crazy. There's a bunch of new models that are coming out, as well as an entire playlist of every artifact weapon, and we have a lot of the armor sets up, and we've got a guide coming up for Wintervale. And now there's like a couple different people who are uploading videos on the channel, so it's like even more stuff is going through. Yeah, so make sure that you subscribe to that. It's youtube.com/wowhead. I also upload quite a few of those videos directly to the Facebook page too to make it easier for you guys to like share it with your friends. Oh, good transition. Artifacts.
Awesome. Yeah.
So, and I'll let you talk about this because I know the tool just went through a minute ago and you were pretty excited about it.
Yeah, sure. So I have been doing a lot of artifact power grinding on the alpha, and we learned some more things about artifacts, which I used to write up some information, and then also we made improvements to our database tools. So the first part is people are like, okay, what is an artifact and how do I acquire this artifact power? And so far on the alpha, I found you acquire it 3 ways. You just get it when you finish some major quest lines. You loot these various items from rares or treasures, and if you return to your artifact forge area, you click on the item and then you get the power. So like it encourages you to travel around. And you can loot items from rares, like specific rares, and you click on them and you get a junk item that's expensive, and you also get around, say, 100 power. And I bought a lot of traits with my artifact power on the alpha, and each trait steeply increases in price. So if you're like, how long will it take to unlock everything? Your first one is 100, but then it goes 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 700. And if you're like, oh wow, like maybe I'll grind out 100,000 artifact power in one day and be done, you can't do that because there's a mechanic called knowledge on the alpha where you are capped on how many traits you can get at a certain point in time. So right now I can only get up to 6 traits, and maybe that, I'm not exactly sure how knowledge works, but it seems like it might be a good progression mechanism, like a cap, so you can't, try to unlock 50 traits in the first week. You have to pace it out a
They
bit
did
more.
that with this is not WoW related, but in Halo 5, you can get these things called rec packs that allow you to unlock like weapon skins and better weapons and stuff like that, but they capped how many you could unlock each week. So like people didn't go in and just like grind out all of these games and spend all this money and then be drastically better than everybody else. So it doesn't surprise me that they would implement a mechanic like that. Back to you, Perk.
Sure. So we added all of these costs that we knew of to our calculator, and then last night Warcraft devs tweeted that while you start off with 2 relics in your weapon, and relics are a thing that can increase the item level of your weapon and give a specific free rank or 2 to a specific trait. They said that shortly after you hit 110, there is going to be a way that you can get 3 relics onto your weapon. So we made a bunch of artifact calculator improvements today as a result of that, and now we support 3 relics on our calculator pages, up from 2. And we also revamped how the design of it worked, because with so many relics, you should be able to scroll things easily. So we made the relics a lot more easier to browse, and when you mouse over them, you see a bunch at the same time, and you can see their tooltip, and you can see what trait they modify, and then that lights up, and nothing overlaps, and it looks so much better. So yeah, the artifact calc is a really popular tool. So you can check stuff out. You can see like what relics seem cool. You can put like 8 ranks onto one trait if you pick the right relics. It's really fun, and we also did those same kind of nice styling updates to the main talent calculator as well. And yeah, a few minor database things too, like heirlooms are now blue, because artifacts have the heirloom color, so that's a thing we did. We made artifact power tooltips look a lot nicer, as well as PvP talent tooltips. We made them easier to find in the site. So like if you're going to search for the name of an artifact trait, it will show up in search results as its own separate tab, and not like, here's a list of 50 spells. Yeah. So lots of improvements, and if there's anything, if you're playing the alpha and you want to actually see anything, if you're like, hey, Wowhead, this would be really helpful if you focused on this first as a tool, or like this layout's easier for me to alt-tab as I'm playing or streaming, let us know. And, we really want to make our alpha stuff good. And, we've been making a lot of changes every day, and happy to do whatever people are playing want.
Absolutely. Now, the next order of business, transition, is that Outland Timewalking is live right now. And of course, you can get that Reigns of the Infinite Time Reaver mount. It's a personal loot drop from any of the Timewalking events. You can also complete your quest to do 500, to receive 500 Valor. You just have to do like 5 random Outland Timewalking, and you get 500 Valor, which is really good. You can upgrade a piece twice with that. Magister's Terrace was added to the rotation, which was originally added in the Sunwell patch. Now you can get from this instance the Swift White Hawkstrider mount, as well as the Phoenix Hatchling and the Orb of the Sindori. Those are all loot drops out of there. And then the loot is also more distinctive than regular dungeon gear, like the Scarlet Sindori robes. In general, if you played during BC, this was a very kind of important dungeon. So it's
so many feels.
Absolutely. It's so cool that they finally added it, because this was something that I feel like a lot of people have a special place in their heart for. Yeah. Of course, there's a lot of items that you can buy during this specific time walking period, like the Reigns of the Eclipse Drake. It's 5,000 Time Warped badges, and it looks really similar to the Shadow Moon Veil area Eclipse Dragonhawk guys. You can also buy the Mark of the Ash Tongue toy for 1,250, which looks kind of like the Brokens from
the Tempest Keep attunement.
Tempest Keep. Thank you.
The Blood Elves.
Yeah, the Ever-Shifting Mirror is 500. This will be a toy in Legion, and it's very cool. What it does is, if you stand somewhere in Draenor and use it, it'll bring you to the equivalent place in Burning Crusade and vice versa. And I think the most understated part of this toy is that you can use it in combat. So if you are in a bad place questing in Draenor, you can pop that and you're gone. You just poof out of midair. It's wonderful. There's also a lot of 675 gear. If you just hit 100, it's a great way to catch up. So if you're leveling up doing time walking, do not spend your badges on gear until you're level 100.
We should also mention that from the first from the first dungeon you clear, you get this item which you can turn in for 500 Time Warp badges. So that's a really good boost if you want to work towards an account-wide item like a mount. But if you're also new and you're like, oh my god, I need gear, then you can pretty much buy all the gear from that vendor with those 500 badges.
Absolutely. In other holiday event news, Winter Veil is coming up. This year it is December 16th to January 2nd, and Wowhead will have both a text and a video guide this year. If you watched Wowhead's Hollow's End guide that I made, it'll be very similar to that. Only hopefully I will have vision. I did the Hollow's End video like right after I got LASIK and I couldn't see anything. It's a wonder that video came out as good as it did. But there's a lot of new stuff coming this year. There's a new pet, little grumpling. He's like a little Yeti guy. There's a new toy that's a red wooden sled, and I believe you can put pets on that, right? Your pets will ride on the sled.
Battle pets are on that. That sounds adorable.
Flippin' cute. There's also some new present contents: the Crashin' Thrashin' Flame Controller, the Crashin' Thrashin' Killdozer Controller, and the Crashin' Thrashin' Flamer.
That's part of that whole like Iron Armada set where like you get 3 of them from the rares, and then there's like the other ones which are from Winter Veil.
Yeah.
So
there's
collect
also
all 5.
Yeah. There's also a new mount, the Minion of Grampus. This is the big version of that grumpling pet, and he kind of looks similar to the Yetis or the almost like who are the guys with one eye that kind of look like an orc sturpy cousin? Like Coalfist and Poundfist, Gronlings.
Yeah.
He has like the same animations as like a Gronling. There's also a new that's my face. There's also a new toy, the Snowblower, which creates, is that a toy or an item that creates a snowstorm?
I'm not sure actually.
Unsure?
I can look it up. It seems like it will be a toy.
Yeah, maybe. Everything seems like it's becoming
Everything's
a toy
gonna be
lately.
a toy.
There's also a yellow snowball, which is clearly the worst snowball. There's a new weapon illusion called Winter's Grasp, which is particularly exciting with the new illusion transmog thingamabob. There's a new pug disguise, the Merry Munchkin costume. I'm surprised how much love that pug gets in game.
I know, we need more Pepe.
I wish that
like a Christmas Pepe.
Yes, we need like a little elven Pepe, like a little or Murloc Pepe.
Pepe has a Christmas hat. Maybe he'll wear it next show.
Yeah, my Pepe is on top of my Christmas tree with a Christmas hat on. That's where he is. So cute. Pepe Bomb. Subscribers. Pepe Bomb. There's also a new gift called the Savage Gift. There's some new consumables like Fizzy Apple Cider, which increases the gathering rate. There's a new set of garrison decorations, and it's important to note that you can use your Halloween and Christmas decorations at the same time if you feel like being that type of human being. The garrison decorations include a ball of tangled lights, which is a festive display of lights and wreaths, imported trees, which is a festive collection of trees and presents, little helpers, which are Winter Veil helpers, and a Winter Wonder Vault. Now that's the little portal thing that sends you to...
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, it changes your appearance, and just as a side note, like, for Hollow's End, we saw some of these things have additional effects, like the rare spawn, which could drop the toy, so I'm sure we'll see some, like, maybe toys, or, like, some of the items you read might be tied to these decorations.
Yeah, festive outfits, dresses your garrison guards for the season. That's probably my favorite one. And the old box of decorations, which is candy canes, mistletoe, and stockings. I think my must-haves out of that are the ball of tangled lights. Actually, I need all of those. Like, I didn't really care for the brew witch, because she didn't really do much in my garrison. I didn't really like the spiders walking around and stuff, but I need all of those things.
Yeah. I like these. It feels very cozy.
Yeah,
and my garrison,
especially since I am in, I mean, you're Alliance, but my garrison is quite literally snowy.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll fit right in, which is odd because I live in Western New York, which is one of the snowiest places in the continental U.S., and we've gotten no snow. It's very bizarre.
I know that is
weird.
This
time last year, there was like 2 feet of snow on the ground, and there's no snow
I was
at all.
there for Thanksgiving last year, and it was snowing during that.
Yeah, it normally snows on like Halloween. Like, things are really strange. Things are really strange around here. Also, in addition to the Winter Veil in-game stuff, Blizzard is celebrating Winter Veil out of game with 50% off select mounts and pets, which brings it to $12.50 for a mount, $5 for a pet, unless it's that nightmare guy who's 15. These can be gifted to other players, and it includes all the shop mounts and that nightmare guy and all the shop pets except for the Mystic Rune Saber and Bright Paw. Bright Paw is completely understandable because his adoption fee is still 100% to charity right now. But come on, Blizzard! We
Mystic
want the
Runesaber.
Mystic Runesaber for half off. Give me a break. Also, to celebrate the holidays, the Blizzard Gear Shop has a big sale going on, and in addition to what they have going on, you can also use code Wowhead to get 10% off of your order for the month of December. So there it is. There's a nice little code. Don't forget it. Write it down. And if you order now, you will get your items before Christmas. The shipping is actually outrageously fast. I just ordered from the Blizzard Gear Shop. I told Perk about this. I ordered from the Blizzard Gear Shop, and I got this box from Blizzard, and it was so quick. It was like the next day or the day after that I thought Blizzard had like sent me some stuff, and I opened it, and I'm like, oh no, I bought this. The shipping for like a hoodie was only like $4, and I got it in like 2 days. So it's definitely cool, and there's a lot of gifts.
Yeah, they made a gift guide this year, and I'm just pulling up the thing and looking at it, and they have various categories like legendary 100 and up, uncommon under 25. They've got some fashion themed gifts if you are a lady like us and you want to play games. They've got stocking stuffers, like tiny stuff, and then they have it broken down by game with various recommendations. Yeah. So, do you have any recommendations you want to say?
I got someone, they had a hoodie, a zip-up hoodie that was only $45, but it was one of the Warcraft movie hoodies, and it was really cool because it still looked very World of Warcraft, but $45 is very cheap for a hoodie, and it's really nice. On the arm, it had like writing down the arm that said like victory or death or something like that. I don't remember. It was really, really cool. They have a lot of cool stuff, so it's definitely worth browsing around to see if there's something that tickles your fancy.
And there's been so many things added during BlizzCon. For example, there's like a waving cinder kitten. There's special Murloc plushies. There's this like really gorgeous Mahjong set. There's a lot of things that maybe you didn't notice at first with all the commotion going on. There's a ton of new Overwatch shirts. There's actually a glow-up Hearthstone ornament. There are these really soft Alliance and Horde blankets we gave out at the Wowhead party. So there is, there's definitely a lot of stuff. And I believe that if you still order now, this will arrive in time for Christmas. So, you should, the code is valid through December 31st, so even if you order later, you can still get it over the holidays if you get any holiday gift money in. And, I'm also excited about the fashion section because it's nice to have other clothing options that aren't just t-shirts. And I think I just spotted a new Warcraft hoodie there, actually. World of Warcraft Adventurers hoodie, women's. It's a cream and brown waffle knit hoodie as you wait for your next raid to begin. That's pretty cool. I live in a really hot area now, but I can't wear that. Oh, come on.
You're in long sleeves right now. There's air conditioning everywhere. You'll be fine. And we'll have probably a lot more of that stuff featured next week because it'll be closer to the holidays. But Blizzard has really great shipping. Like, it's very surprising how fast it gets to you. Another thing I was going to say is that in addition to all the women's stuff they've really expanded their women's stuff. It's not just like a women's shirt with like the same print on it. There's like the knitted sweaters, the StarCraft knitted sweaters. There's that, what is the name of that material? The see-through kind of...
Mesh?
No, it's like, it's really light. It's like the material of the Hearthstone scarf.
Oh, yeah. Jersey, maybe?
No, it's not quite jersey. It's like see-through and like it's got like Heroes of the Storm print all over it.
Chiffon.
Chiffon, that's the word. They have like a chiffon shirt. They have like tank tops. They have leggings. And then another really cool gift.
They have necklaces now? Yeah, that's cool as well. There's like a Doomhammer necklace and a Hearthstone one.
Yeah, no, it's nice that they're really like branching out in that way. And then you talked about stocking stuffers. They've got a lot of cute little things for stocking stuffers too. Like the cute but deadly figures would be great for like stocking stuffers. Only like $10, $12. They're not expensive.
Yeah, the mini Zergling plush keychain is cute too.
There's the little StarCraft one.
Pins.
So cute. So there's a lot of good stuff on there. And we were actually going to discuss this with you guys and see what you thought. But the holidays this year, the 25th and the 1st, are both on Fridays. So we're not really sure what we're going to do around that time. It'll probably be dependent on how much news there is. Whether we'll do maybe a Saturday show on the 2nd and the 26th. Or maybe just a show on the 2nd or just a show on the 26th. But make sure that you follow us on Twitter and follow Wowhead on Twitter because that's where those announcements will be made. If anybody has any questions, now would be a good time.
Yep. I can bring Pepe back.
So cute. I love his little hat.
I can show it off again if you missed it.
It's really cute. Who made it?
So it was Precious Mage on Twitter, and her name is spelled Pre. Let me pull it up because I'm bad at spelling. It's not spelled exactly, but it's Preshus Mage. So the cute spelling of that. And if you're not sure, if you don't remember that, ask me on Twitter, and I'll point her to you. But it's super cute because he has this like Murloc back, and he's got this. And he has this little strap, and there's a button on one side, so it looks like a little kid wearing a costume.
It's really cute. It's really cute.
I have a holiday party to go to, and I'm taking Pepe.
What's he gonna wear, that? Or is he gonna wear...
Yep.
Really
He's
cute?
gonna wear this because the strap holds it in place.
And
so
you have to worry about losing it.
I have a Santa hat, but it sort of just perches more on the top of his
You
head.
can pin it on the inside. That's what I did for the one that's on top of my... Because my Pepe is my tree topper.
I also have a data mining Pepe hat that's a little like yellow hard hat with a light on it now, and I pinned a Wowhead pin to it. So
that's really, really cute.
He'll go out for alpha builds, and whenever there's something that people don't understand or sounds really scary or controversial, I'm gonna tweet the spell out obviously, but I'll have a picture of Pepe so people aren't like, this is evil. They'll be like,
I love
Pepe,
all of your
makes
Pepe
sense.
class pictures. They're so
I need to do
cute.
more of those.
They're so cute. It's so clever. At Perk, any ETA on tier sets coming to the dressing room?
So usually tier sets come when we data mine the actual items, and sometimes there's a delay between when we can preview things and when we can see the sets actually in the dressing room. So, like if you go to Legion item sets, you won't actually see any of these item sets. But we are trying to work on a way in case there is a delay, and the thing we're currently working on now is seeing if we can get all of the different artifact colors into the dressing room, even if there's not going to be 20 variations of each artifact weapon on the site. That's not how Blizzard's coded it, but we are trying to work on adding something to where if you select an artifact, it's going to pop up and be like, which color and style do you want?
Yeah.
So that's our main focus for now with the dressing room.
Somebody else asked, do you think Blizzard will let Demon Hunters loot Illidan's Warglaves from Black Temple? And I know that that's a yes, because warriors and stuff can get them now. Those aren't
actually
specific.
Let me I'm looking up Warglaves on the Legion version of the site right now to see if it says anything, maybe it will have a class thing added to it. One sec, site is loading.
You won't be able to transmog it still. They have outwardly said there still will be no transmog of legendary weapons.
Yeah, it says that the classes for Warglaves in Legion are Warriors, Rogues, Death Knights, Monks, and Demon Hunters. So there you go. They can loot and equip them.
I don't know. Somebody asked if they can delete gear in their banks now. Which I think you theoretically could, because I'm pretty sure they're giving you anything ever, including
the quest gear, but I wouldn't say they're not going to give you a raid drop, I believe.
I don't know enough about how that works. I wouldn't do it.
I would just hang tight, or just buy more void storage.
Yeah, I would not do it yet, just in case. I recently got my Draenor flying, and I really appreciate your tool for Pathfinder. Oh.
Yay. Awesome. We'll be making one for Legion when we know how you get that.
And then someone also said that they saw a blue tweet that specifically told people not to delete things yet.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Suppose some horrible item glitch happens, or Blizzard can't restore one type of item and they don't want people deleting things in their game.
I wouldn't delete anything yet, but I'm still super excited for it. It is a little bit of a bummer, all the because I had, before Transmog was a thing, I got rid of a lot of tier sets. I had all the tiers from Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, and I didn't save any of them because Transmog wasn't a thing. So
I don't know what to do about Helm Transmogs, because when I got Cursed Vision, I was super excited, and I'm like, I'm not going to use any other helms for, screenshots, because at the time there wasn't Transmog, but you had your set that you wore for meaningful screenshots when your guild killed things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't need to hang on to any of these helms because I'll just have this. But it's going to be really sad if all my other Transmog wardrobe collections are going to be maxed out and helm's going to be 1 of 500. So I don't know.
1 of 500.
I could just collect everything and never use it, I guess.
You're just going to have to go back, I guess. That's okay,
Yeah.
but those are the things. But I don't really mind having to go back and doing them, knowing that they're going to be like a permanent reward.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited for the Transmog system. We're going to call it for today. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask us on the VOD. The VOD is usually uploaded like late Friday night, early Saturday morning. So it'll be that way once again. And so we're going to go for the weekend. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. I want to thank everybody who is subscribed to Wowhead Weekly. That really helps us out. Plus, you get cute emotes that you can use. Thank you to everybody who follows us and gets notifications and watches us live. Thanks to everybody who subscribes to our YouTube channel and likes and thumbs ups and comments and all of those things. And most of all, thank you to everybody who subscribes to Wowhead Premium, which is a monthly service that it takes all the ads off of Wowhead. It allows you to track quests. You get a special color when you're talking in the comments section. There's all sorts of fun perks. Plus, it helps the show directly and you don't get crappy ads. So all of the things are fantastic. So thank you, everybody. We are going to go. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Where is the button? There it is.